Now let's say if we don't have the input and output value like the one above, can we do the number example 2? I have the function f of x equal x cubed minus 9x squared minus 3 and x is equal 4. I want to find the derivative of the inverse at x equal f of 4. Okay, it's gonna be pretty confusing, right? So, but it's okay. First of all, we're gonna create something like the one that we have above here. So we know f of 4 gonna be by putting x equal 4, right? We will replace everywhere we see the x by 4. All right, so we're gonna have 4 to the power 3 minus 9 times 4 to the power 2 minus 3. And that will give you, let me see, 4 to the power 3 minus 9 times 4 to the power 2 minus 3, and that's negative 83. So if my f of 4 is negative 83, and we use the way that we did above, then g of negative 83 will be 4. Okay, and now we want to find the derivative of inverse. If we call g is the inverse of f of x, then g prime of what? Of x equal f of 4, which is x equal negative 83. So g prime of negative 83 is 1 over f prime of g of negative 83. And we does know what is g of negative 83 already, so we just put it in f prime of 4. Oh, okay. So in order to find f prime of 4, can we find f prime of 4? Yes, we can take the derivative from the function and then put in 4. So what is f prime? F prime of x, by the power rule, we have 3x squared minus what? Minus 18x. And the derivative constant is 0, so nothing. So we have to put in 4 because this is f prime of 4. So f prime of 4 is 3 times 4 squared minus 18 times 4, and that will be 3 times 4 to the power 2 minus 18 times 4, and that is negative 24. So it means the derivative of my inverse function at x equal 4 is 1 over negative 24. Now let's take a look at this one. I have the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 9. And I want to find the derivative of an inverse function as x equal f of 1. Okay, so first of all, we're going to find out what is f of 1. F of 1 is 2 times 1 squared minus 9, which is negative 7. Okay, so f of 1 is negative 7. If we use the inverse function by calling this g, then g of negative 7 will be 1. Okay, but if you want to use the inverse notation, you are more than welcome to do that. You can do f of inverse of negative 7 is 1, because the inverse function is just interchanging between x and y. Okay, so let's use this one so you can see that either way it will work. So we have f inverse of negative 7 is 1. Now we want to find the derivative of f inverse, and derivative of s inverse, go back to the formula, is what? 1 over f prime of negative 1. I mean f inverse of x. So 1 over f prime of f inverse of x, which is 1 over f prime of what? F inverse of x. But as x equals f of 1, so it means that f equals negative 7. So f inverse of 7 is 1. Okay, so now we're gonna have to find f prime of x will be 4x, and the 9 is 0. So f prime of x is 4x, f prime of 1 is 4. So the answer will be 1 over 4. Okay, so that's how you find the derivative of inverse function. And you have to be clear to understanding that why when we find the derivative of the inverse function, we have x equal f of 1. So if you remember that the inverse function, the input of the inverse function is actually the output of your original function. So that's why x is equal to the output of the original. Okay.